Okay, and we're back. We're getting ready to have the recurve women quarterfinal match.
No, not 7. 10.
Here at the U.S. Open Archery Championships at Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. Our next match, again, is the recurve women's quarterfinal. We'll have the number 10 seed, Miranda Leek from Texas, who is a U.S. Olympian, versus the number 2 seed, Anna Maria Rendon from Colombia, also an Olympian. So we're going to get an Olympian match here.
I believe Rendon competed at the 2008 Olympics and Miranda shot at the 2012 Olympics. She's being coached by her fiance, also a student at Texas A&M University with her.
So we'll get ready for what should be a very competitive quarterfinal match here between two former and possibly again future Olympians. Another international match like we saw in our women's recurve matchup earlier. Earlier it was Chinese Taipei in the U.S. and this time it is U.S. and Colombia.
You know, sometimes as a spectator, when you're watching two people both from the U.S. shoot and they're both your friends, it's hard to know who to cheer for, but sometimes when you're here and you get these international matchups, it's a little bit easier to pick sides.
So we'll wait for the bell again, for the whistle, as the competitors converse. Still seems to be pretty friendly between the two former Olympians, conversing with each other, joking around. Seems to be some smiling going on, so not quite as tense yet. We'll wait till the first arrows start flying and see how it changes then. I don't see a coach over there with Rendon. The wind's starting to pick up again a little bit before this quarterfinal match as we continue the march towards the U.S. Open champion for both the men and women recurve event.
Now this match is very nerve-wracking, as it is the last one that determines whether or not, you know, you'll be moving on to a medal match. You know, if you win this, you're pretty safe. You know, if you're out, that's, you know, your last shot at having a chance for a medal. So it's definitely an important match.
We'll see. Like I said, I expect the smiles to disappear once the arrows go off here momentarily, as we're getting ready for the whistle and the archers to approach the line. And there it is. Archers are approaching the line.
I'm still seeing smiles, so.
And we got Miranda Leek in the black and Anna Maria Rendon in the red. Here comes the first arrow.
A 9, solid opening for the archer from Colombia. Miranda sets down. She's waiting for her moment. Sometimes you just got to feel that shot. It's a 9-8 liner again for Anna Maria. And Miranda opens with a 9 just out of 10. And a 10-9 liner, most likely a 10. For a solid, potentially 3 arrows in the gold set. That's a definite 10. Looks like an X for Miranda. If she can keep this arrow in 10, she will literally be golden on this set. And it's an 8, so this set will come down to a line call on some arrows.
Okay, so we'll wait for that as the rest of the lines finish up their shot. We wait for the time to expire. Solid opening set from both competitors, it looks like. Who would you say has the edge in the grouping on this first round?
I would say potentially Rendon's group is slightly tighter, but it's pretty even. We'll have to see what happens as the match advances.
And the competitors are still conversing and laughing as they approach the target for the first time, as was the case for the brothers in the previous match. We'll see as the sets go deeper if that continues.
I think potentially girls are a little bit friendlier in these matches than the men are.
Yeah, and again, with the previous match, we had the brother factor in there, so
yeah,
they'll get to talk to each other plenty later.
Absolutely.
You probably hear the wind picking up a little bit. The wind socks are a little higher now, and the flags above the targets are blowing stiff.
Wind like this will definitely affect your shot, so.
So we wait for the official scoring. Judge is leaving the target, so it doesn't seem to be any discrepancies. And Rendon has put a 1 up, so we might.
They must have had a tie.
Must have had a split on this first one. That's the first one of those we've seen today. With this being our 4th match.
We have definitely enjoyed some very close matches so far. So
after one set, it is 1-1. Miranda Leek and Anna Marie Rendon.
This will definitely not be a 3-set match. Gonna have to at least go for 4 sets.
And we, with getting the 1 out of the way now, it's complete possibility we'll get our first 1-arrow shoot off that we have eagerly been anticipating. So we start off 1-1 again. Good shooting by both competitors in that first set.
A lot of archers like to have, like a lucky charm or something, and if you look over at Rendon, she's got some stuffed animals hanging off her quiver. There's a little crocodile on her shoulder. Wonder if that will bring her luck today.
It's got her this far. Again, she's the 2 seed, Miranda Leek the 10 seed, but obviously both very skilled, bringing a competitive match for us here. Still no sign of a coach speaking with Rendon between sets.
But still high spirits from both competitors. And the wind is calming down a little bit just in time for shooting to resume momentarily.
How hard is it to make those adjustments when the wind changes so quickly, sometime from arrow to arrow, but even more drastic as it just changed between shooting groups?
I would say when the wind is this variable, you're probably not going to adjust your sight that much. You're just going to focus on aiming off and kind of watching the flags, and you can get a feel for how far your arrow is going to be off, and you kind of just adjust for that. Like, you'll know if it'll be like, at least red rings, maybe blue, and you can aim off for that. But it doesn't really make sense to follow the wind with your sight when it's changing up this quickly.
Still seeing there's definitely a lot more laughing between the competitors, smiling and conversing, than there has been in really any of the other matches, which is my experience in sports, unusual as you get deeper into the competition where it means a little bit more, especially this with, as you mentioned before, Sarah, with this being the bubble round, as to where only the winner goes to the on to chance, good chance of medaling, and the loser finishes just outside of that chance.
But you know, we saw it with Michelle Gilbert in our 1/8 round that a lot of times, 1/16 round, but you see a lot of times that when archers are in better spirits, they tend to shoot better. So it's good we're seeing smiles, and hopefully these high scores will continue because it definitely keeps things exciting.
Yeah, and I think that is definitely something we've seen.
And the archer from Colombia is up on the line, ready to go at the start of the whistle.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier how a lot of the international
it's a 9 just out of 10
competitors will go quickly.
Yeah, specifically a lot of the archers that we see here from Chinese Taipei. That's a 7/8 liner for Miranda. Looks like an 8, but we'd have to wait for the official call on that. Miranda's up at full draw, looking confident.
Now both competitors have dropped their bows.
And we will see that, you know, sometimes the nerves take over and you just do need to set down and start again. So that looks like it's an 8 for Rendon. And what appears to be a 10 for Miranda. So, you know, depending on some line calls, this could be tied up, or we'll have to see.
Both competitors pull back for their third arrow.
That's a solid 10 and X for Rendon, and also a 10, potentially an X also for Leek. We will definitely have to wait and see how they score those close arrows when we get down there.
Either way, it seems to be another solid round of scoring for both competitors.
Absolutely, keeping those arrows really close to the center. I was talking to one of the archers who comes to this competition every year from Canada, and she said that it really is the greatest experience to have such a high level of competition. You know, it's still pretty close to home for her, traveling from just Canada, you know. She said it's a great experience to be out here. And you absolutely see that with these high scores. It's tough to compete with.
Yeah, let's see if we get another splitter. If someone took this second set decidedly. Okay, so looks like they've called the judge down, possibly.
The judge is taking out a magnifying glass. They're going to get an official call on that arrow.
So this is the first time we've needed the judge's opinion today. He's made his call, not sure what it is.
You know, this is not like other sports where sometimes the referee makes a call and it's like up for debate. Like, you pretty much just say if the arrow is in or out. So judge's word is law here.
Okay, looks like Rendon is coming back without scoring. So we're going to wait for Leek to add a score, but she has gotten the 2 points and won that second set.
So Team USA takes a 3-point lead heading into the third set. Oh, sorry, a 2-point lead with 3 points to 1.
Yes, it is a 3-1 after 2 sets. Miranda Leek over the number 2 seed, Anna Maria Rendon from Colombia. So things picking up now, and as predicted, we head to the third set. The competitors aren't walking back together anymore, and the conversation has stopped.
It is definitely an interesting dynamic to watch evolve.
Okay, and before we bring you that third set, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with you from the U.S. Open Archery Championships here at Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. Okay, and we're back here at the U.S. Open Archery Championships in the quarterfinal for the women's recurve. I'm Chris Allen along with Sarah Bernstein. We do have number 10 seed Miranda Leek from Texas with a 3-1 lead over the number 2 seed Anna Maria Rendon from Colombia, as Rendon pulls up her first arrow of this third set.
Sets back down. Makes a quick adjustment, so.
I think the wind's probably playing with them. It is a little stiffer again. Now Leek drops hers as Rendon shoots.
So 10-9 liner, it's very, very close. An 8 for Leek. Looks like a 9 for Rendon.
Leek pulls her bow down again before shooting her second arrow.
And that's a 10, another X for Rendon. Leek with the second 8. So she cannot win this set, but she's going to definitely try and finish strong. And it looks like that's a third 8.
So sounds like, Sarah, you do believe Anna Maria Rendon has tied it up after this third set, as the archers have been given the signal to approach the target to confirm what Sarah's told us.
So we are potentially approaching that 1 arrow shoot-off possibility.
Yeah, it seems after that first set split, 1 point, did seem that might see that on the horizon, especially with both competitors shooting so well.
What's interesting when you get to the score of 3-3 is no matter who wins the next set, it still is not over, because it would only bring you up to 5 points and you need 6 for the win. So the pressure is a tiny bit off for this next set. Of course you obviously want to take the advantage moving into a 5th set, but if you don't, it's not the end of the world.
Our judge is walking down to make sure that he's not needed, and he turns around quickly, so there won't be any discrepancies this time. And Rendon does indeed add the 2 points, so we will be tied heading to the 4th set, 3-3. Miranda Leek, the number 10 seed from Texas, and the number 2 seed Anna Maria Rendon from Colombia. So we've been got another great match on our hands. Very, very skilled archery. Obviously, as we get deeper into the competition with the quarterfinals and 2 top 10 seeds, 2 former Olympians.
And they are laughing again.
They are. The laughing has come back. So there's conversing and laughing. And Rendon, I will say, after she lost that last set and didn't smile, she is smiling and laughing, maybe even joking at this point. So that is different than what we saw earlier from the men. In both men's matches that we had, there wasn't as much conversing once the actual shooting started, more prior. But the women do seem to be a little more conversational with each other in all the matches. So we have a very tight match, 3 points, 3 points. After 3 sets, we'll head to this 4th set, possibly
definitely heading into a 5th set at least, potentially a shoot-off.
Potentially a shoot-off.
But yes, this match will have to be at least the 5 sets.
You can also follow all the results today on USA Archery's social media sites, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They will be updating all of the results as they happen.
There are also good coverage stories on usaarchery.org.
And of course, stay with us for all of your recurve results as the whistle goes off to start this 4th set.
And with that first whistle, Rendon is up and drawing the bow.
She's definitely had the quicker trigger to start the rounds.
Opens with a solid 9. We'll see if that shakes Leek at all. She is not.
She dropped the bow again.
It's a 10-9 liner. Very close. Ooh, and a 10 for Leek. She opens up the set strong, so maybe perhaps she was not rattled.
Maybe that break, yeah, her dropping her bow was a good thing for her, possibly.
A lot of times archers do need to set down and just regroup. Again. And another 10-9 liner for Rendon. This one looks to be clear 10.
And as has been, Leek drops the bow again. So still waiting on her second shot.
That's a 7, so we will have to see what happens in the 5th set. And finishes out with a 10, so nice job for Leek.
So we'll wait for the competitors to approach the target, which they've been signaled they can now do, to confirm the scoring that we believe. So the competitors are now approaching the target. We'll wait. So we'll see. Judge is walking down with them, see if he's needed.
And it looks like the archers will be able to make the calls on their own. They are definitely checking that arrow out carefully, and it looks like they've come to an agreement.
Yeah, the judge is heading back.
So we will now have a 3-5 score. We will have to go for another set. If Leek wins the next set, we will get our 1 arrow shoot off.
So Rendon does take the 5-3 lead. Heading to the 5th set. So Miranda Leek will need some more of the shooting she's pretty much had, minus an arrow here or there. But both competitors shooting very well. Still smiling and conversing and joking, the competitors, so that's always a good sign, keeping it loose out there.
Now Leek did take a break from shooting recurve competitively for a while. She was competing in the compound division while at school last year, so this is definitely quite a return for her to the scene.
Seemingly hasn't lost too much of a beat. She's a 10 seed, but in the quarterfinals. So she's already outplayed her seed.
She's been an archer for a long time, inspired to start shooting by her father, so also a family sport.
And the wind seems to pick up a little bit more again. So we'll see how that affects this next set as Miranda Leek looks to win it and send it to the 1 arrow shoot off that we've mentioned maybe a few times today.
That wind is getting strong, so
it's picking up, so the competitors are going to have to be conscious of that and make adjustments. Obviously Anna Maria just needing a split here to advance to the semifinals. Miranda Leek has no choice except to win this round in order to continue the set.
I'm sure she has hopes of a medal this weekend, so the pressure is definitely on.
As you can see, the windsock is blowing stiffer right now, so as the whistle blows for this 5th set, so that gives you an idea of the wind blowing that these archers have to deal with.
Even a little bit further out, we can see the trees are blowing. This is a nice park to be shooting in.
And I will say Rendon was not as quick with the trigger to have the bow up this time at this 5th set as she was the first 4. Both competitors taking a little bit more breathing time before shooting.
Might be waiting out the wind a little bit. Looks like it's a good time to shoot, so both archers are drawing the bow. And Leek opens the set with what looks like an 8, very, very close to 9. Rendon also with an 8. Leek with a 9. It's good they're keeping him on target with this wind, so 10-9 liner for Rendon.
Rendon definitely taking more time between shots this 5th set than she did the first 4.
You know, if she loses this set, it's not over, but there is so much pressure with that 1 arrow shoot off. I'm sure she'd love to just clinch the win with this 3rd shot, so. And she shoots a 9. And another 9 for Leek, so it does appear that Rendon will take the win.
Okay, as the whistle blows, we will wait for the archers to approach the target to give us
even if they had tied scores on this, it would be, you know, 6-4 decision, and even though the set would have been a tie, the match would be determined, so.
So we'll see here. Competitors approach the target. Definitely would be a tough way to go out for Leek. Splitting 2 sets. So we'll see here. Judge is over at the on our compound channel targets, so he doesn't seem to think that we'll need.
They were in their 5th and final set. Jessie Broadwater had a 3-point lead.
So is the,
as you know, compound shooting is again the cumulative score, so it does always go to that 5th set, and it really does come down to every last point, trying to just get as many in the 10 as you can.
So our competitors, Miranda Leek and Ana Maria Rendon, have shaken hands, so it looks like it will be over. Ana Maria Rendon will advance
to the semifinals.
To the semifinals, and she did win that set, so she will advance 7-3 over the 10 seed Miranda Leek. So still a very good match by Leek. Though she probably won't be ecstatic with the results. She shot very well that round, and should be proud of her effort there.
Yeah, for sure.
So again, Ana Maria Rendon from Colombia will advance to the semifinal and goes on to the medal round as she awaits her opponent for the recurve women's championship.
Next up over here, we will have the recurve men's semifinal. It looks like we're going to get to watch the match between Brady Ellison and Colin Klimitschek, so stay tuned for that.
So again, just to recap what we just had, we just finished the recurve women's quarterfinal. Number 2 seed Ana Maria Rendon outpointing Miranda Leek 7-3. We will take a quick break and we'll be right back from the U.S. Open Archery Championships here at Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. And we're back here to the U.S. Open Archery Championships here at Joyce Park in Hamilton, Ohio. We just finished with the recurve women quarterfinal where the number 2 seed Ana Maria Rendon from Colombia advances with a 7-3 win over the 10 seed Miranda Leek. We do have Ana Maria here with us. Congratulations on your victory in advancing. After the first 3 sets, it was tied 3-3. What was going through your head on the adjustments you needed to make?
Well, first, thanks for inviting me. And, well, it was very tight. Miranda is a great archer, but I have to do my job. So always just thinking on my job, on my technique, and doing as best as I can.
And how did the wind affect you as it was picking up and then slowing down even between arrows, but definitely between sets? What kind of adjustments did you have to make because of the wind changing so frequently?
Well, the windy is my weakness, but I'm working on that, and here is the best place to work it because it's really, really tricky. But I think I have to decide like quickly, and I think I figured it out how is windy work here, so I just have to do it my work and a strong stroke. Sorry, a strong shoot.
All right, thank you, Anna Maria. Good luck in the semifinals as you go on to the medal round, and we'll be watching you. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks for you.